You know, we're always looking up at the stars, wondering if that's humanity's next home. But what if our future lies in the exact opposite direction? Today, we're exploring the deep ocean and how living beneath the waves is so much closer to reality than you might think.
Seriously, just take a second and picture it. Waking up, not to the sun, but to this perpetual, beautiful twilight of the deep blue, with schools of fish just casually swimming past your window. Sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? Well, it is quickly becoming science fact.
So, who's behind this? A British company called Deep. And they're not just dreaming about it, they're actually building semi-permanent underwater habitats. And get this, the first missions are planned to launch as early as 2025.
Okay, so to really get why this is such a huge deal, we need to take a quick step back. The dream of living underwater isn't new at all. It's a vision that has absolutely captivated pioneers for decades.
People are calling this the most significant leap in ocean living since the legendary Jacques Cousteau. And we're not just talking about some small incremental upgrade here. This represents a fundamental shift in our ability to actually inhabit the deep.
Cousteau proved it was possible way back in the 1960s, but the technology at the time was a massive hurdle. So for nearly 60 years, the dream just stalled. But now, modern engineering and scalable designs are finally letting us bridge that huge technological gap.
So, how exactly are they pulling this off? Let's take a look inside the two key pieces of tech making this all possible: the underwater habitats named Vanguard and Sentinel.
Honestly, the easiest way to picture them is as space stations, but for the ocean. It's the perfect analogy. They're these self-contained, pressurized homes for long-term missions. But instead of floating around in the vacuum of space, they're designed to rest right on the seabed.
So the project has two main habitat models. First up, you've got Vanguard. That's kind of the trailblazer, designed for depths of 50 meters for missions lasting a week or more. But then there's Sentinel. And Sentinel is the real game changer. It can go 4 times deeper, house more people, and support missions for up to 28 days without ever needing to resurface.
And the way they're building these is just as cool. Vanguard's frame is built using something called wire arc additive manufacturing, which is basically a fancy way of saying they 3D print with metal. This technique isn't just innovative, it's way faster and much more sustainable because it dramatically cuts down on material waste.
Sentinel's design is super clever. It's modular, right? Which means these habitats can be customized and even reconfigured right there on the seafloor. A key feature is the panoramic viewports, but they aren't just for the amazing view. They're designed to enable something called incidental science. The idea that by simply living and observing, scientists can make these lucky, serendipitous discoveries that a targeted, robotic mission might miss completely.
And this brings us to the real purpose of these habitats. I mean, sure, it sounds like an incredible adventure, but the primary driver here is science. This is all about giving researchers unprecedented access to the ocean.
Look, we have some absolutely amazing underwater robots, but they just can't replace a human scientist. A person on site can make active decisions, adapt to changing conditions, and perform really delicate tasks like hands-on sampling in a way a remote-controlled machine simply can't.
And the potential applications here are vast. We're talking about everything from continuous, 24/7 monitoring of marine ecosystems to actively restoring coral reefs. These habitats could even be used for astronaut training by simulating the isolated, extreme conditions of spaceflight.
But, and this is a big but, with this kind of innovation comes some very, very serious responsibilities. As we push into this new frontier, we're stepping into completely uncharted ethical and ecological territory. This brings us to a really fundamental question we have to ask ourselves. Is our ambition to explore and understand actually helping the ocean, or will our permanent presence become fundamentally disruptive to its ecosystems? Deep's vision is a global network of these habitats by 2030, but that ambition has to be balanced against the unknown long-term impact on marine life. And beyond science, these habitats also have clear potential for defense and resource monitoring, which opens up a whole new set of geopolitical questions. Which leads to the critical issue of governance. As we start building infrastructure in international waters, who is in charge? Marine scientists are already calling for clear frameworks, especially under treaties like the UN High Seas Treaty, to manage this new era of human activity on the ocean floor. Ultimately, this technology offers a window into a world we barely understand, with the potential for just monumental discoveries. But it also forces us to decide what kind of presence we want to have in the planet's last true wilderness. How do we explore without exploiting? Finding that balance, well, that's going to be our greatest challenge.